Hello, hi vibers. Welcome back to Tea Time with Jess. I first want to, address the elephant in the room. Yes, I am wearing a living mushroom. Well, now it's dried. But you know what? I told my daughter the other day, she said, Mom, if the plants are dried, is it still alive? What came to my mind right then and there was, yes, actually, they don't truly die. They transform because the plants are made of energy, and energy is only transferred, transformed, transmuted. It doesn't die. Can't kill it. Now it's just in a different form. So, my living mushroom here, and then a beautiful butterfly. Earrings are courtesy of Mushroom Fairy Jade. She makes amazing jewelry. You can find her on Instagram. That's actually her website name, mushroomfairyjade.com. I'm looking down at it right now. And she makes jewelry out of living plants and mushrooms. Okay, I love this. You know, when these really looked really nice on me when I had long braids. And then I was like in my boho era, I was like, yes. Peep the, you know, yes, call me a hippie if you want. Okay, I'm not a hippie. I'm not. I think that's just a term that is used toward people who are definitely not conforming to society as it is, capitalistic society, whatever you want to, say. But anyway, as I said, welcome back to Tea Time with Jess. So let's talk about the Sacred Sips post for the week. Remember, Sacred Sips, the whole point of that post, the whole point of the tea of the week and everything like that with Sacred Sips is that every day, every week actually, not, every week and every day has a different feel to it, as you know. The point is to help you have what you need to have in place to help you get through in a positive way. I was once someone who felt like, what's going on with people? What's going on with life? Why is this like this? Why is that like that? Yada, yada, yada. And I found that, oh, okay, Mars is in retrograde. That gave me an answer. Oh, okay, Pluto's in retrograde. Oh, okay, that gave me an answer. Oh, okay, well, there's a conjunction here. Understanding what goes on in the sky is what actually helped me a lot. For a long time, I was listening to, his name is Thomas, the company name and the Instagram title and the name of the podcast is Fun Astrology. And he releases a podcast every day, every morning, with the exception of the weekends, where he talks about what basically the forecast of the astrological weather is for the day. And he's like, expect maybe things are going to go like this, you're going to feel like this, going to feel like that, because as I have said before in these videos, what goes on in the sky alters the way that we feel here on Earth. Okay? So, cosmic harmony in action. This week, the cosmic harmony in action says, there's a difference between being responsible and being reactive. This week, choose stillness first. Not because you're ignoring life, but because you're learning to meet it from your center. You don't have to jump at every fire. You get to breathe first. You get to decide. You get to decide. You get to breathe first. You don't have to jump at every fire. Raise your hand if you know somebody who loves jumping at fires. And even if they say they don't love it, why are you still doing it? If that's you, why are you still doing it? Why are you still popping off just because somebody said or did something, You can pop off, but do it in private. Like, take a moment, take a step back. I would say there are two very different people, right? For a long time, I was the type to just like get walked all over. I didn't say anything. And I had to like, I talked about this in my anger video when I talked about like how to deal with anger and using the herbs to support yourself while you're feeling angry. I let you know that I didn't do a good job processing it. I shut down. And me shutting down is everything goes within me and gets suppressed. And I'm just like, I don't know how I feel, but the way that I feel, I think it's wrong. And I don't want to let it out. Right? So now this is the opposite end, right? This is the opposite end. This is the as soon as something goes wrong, as soon as something goes off, as soon as you get triggered, you just going all over the place. So that is what we're talking about. In my exercises now, where I, like, if I do feel triggered, if something does, like, piss me off, I withdraw a little bit and I think about it before I address it with the person. It's so important for us to do that. Whether you're on either side of the spectrum of the way that you deal with anger and frustration, okay? Sometimes, yes, sometimes a good tell off, a good, you might have to cuss somebody out, and that's okay. But this week, the point is for you to practice withholding a lash out. Do not immediately add more fuel to the fire. Step back and see how that changes things. I think of like that queen persona. When you have like that queen or king persona, you're more calculated, where you don't allow people in to like, you have that poker face and you're like, okay, this just triggered me, but what am I going to do? And people don't know what you're about to do because all they see is, like, I see you. Okay. So how do you step back? How do you remove yourself? Let me tell you, the times now that I have felt like, oh, I gotta say something back, I gotta say something, I have never regretted not saying anything. I take a time, I take a moment, and I pause, and I'm like, You know what? Sometimes I realize I don't even need to say anything. I don't. Other times I'm like, okay, me saying something is not going to be with words, it's going to be with actions. Okay? Other times it's, okay, now I know exactly how to address this in a way that's going to be bringing positivity into the future, in a way that's going to align with what I want, right? So when we do take that pause, when we do take a moment, you are able to make an action plan that's going to help you move forward, right? You don't want to do anything that's going to curse your future or that's going to, make you step backwards, okay? A lot of the time when we're being flippant, when we're just allowing anger to control our tongues, when we just want to just go, what type of future are you designing there? You're just designing the same situation, perpetually staying in that type of issue. It may look a little different, but it's still going to be the same feelings underneath. It's still going to be the same. Still sparks the same feelings. So, and you know what I'm talking about. So there's a wonderful video. Kerry Washington was on the podcast, The Great School with Lewis Howes, and she said something so good. So I'm about to play that for you. I want you to listen to what she says.
Not get caught up in the negative self-talk, to create a little bit of distance between the stimulus and the response. Mm-hmm. There's a saying that I love that pause stands for postpone action until serenity emerges.
Amazing.
Right? Like just take a beat. And for me, in the way that life moves so quickly, sometimes therapy is that beat where I get to go like, hold on. The story I'm telling myself is that my job is terrible. The story I'm telling myself is that the world is on fire.
Postpone action until serenity emerges. Woo! She said, take a beat. I don't like that phrase for some reason. I can't stand it. But you know, she's just like I said, to pause, right? That's something that she learned through therapy. Postpone action until serenity emerges. What? When I heard that, this was just posted like a little bit before I started recording this. I was like, yes, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Because this is exactly what I'm talking about today. Postpone action until serenity emerges. That is the best. That is the best. I hope that you've heard of that before. I've never heard of it. It's my first time. And, you know, pausing for that, pausing until you feel like, okay, I got my mind together. I'm not going to screw up my future with my next actions. That's the whole point. Oh my gosh, that's the whole point. If there is one thing that I cannot stand, it's when people do things out of emotions that mess up their future. I'm like, don't you see how this is going to affect the rest of your life? Don't you see how this is affecting the people around you? Oh, that gets on my nerves. So if I can inspire you and send this video to somebody who needs to learn how to pause until they feel like, okay, you know what? I can be centered while I respond to this. You always want to be centered. You don't want nobody to throw you off of your center, because when you off center, what's going to happen? You're going to fall over, right? You're going to fall over. You're going to stumble. You want to be centered so that you can play the game the way it needs to be played, because what is life? A game. How do you get ahead? Staying centered, staying on your 2 feet. Don't let anybody knock you off your 2 feet. Okay? And you know what? It's so easy to say, don't let anyone take you off of your center. Don't let anyone knock you off your 2 feet. But the thing is that it happens. You do get knocked over. But the way that the effect of that does not harm you is by returning back to the middle. They knock you off, come back. They knock you off, and you know what? I feel like grabbing one of these pencils that I have here, right? I'm gonna grab a pencil. I'm gonna grab my incense thing here, right? This is centered. They knock you off. You're here. If I let my hand go, this thing's gonna fall, right? So if you take action while you're here, destruction. Destruction. That is how you create destruction in your life. If you take a moment, if they threw you off, right? They threw you like, oh shoot, I'm not centered. Let me just come back. Oh, hold up. We had a problem coming back. It takes practice. It takes practice. You got to practice coming back. So here we are, right? You're centered. They throw you off. You take a moment. You come back to center, and now you move forward. Look, that's my former teacher training. I'm like, let me get my manipulatives and show you exactly what I mean so that you can really understand what I mean by that. Okay. Now, when we're talking about being centered and taking actions from a space of being centered, I am smiling this hard because it reminds me of the teachings of Jesus Christ. When we're talking about Christ consciousness, right? It's not just let them, turn the other cheek kind of thing. Turn the other cheek doesn't mean let them walk over you. It means, I'm not falling over. Let me come back here. Let me come back to myself, and then I will decide how I want to deal with this. You have to come back to center to remain in power. Don't let them take your power. Okay? Don't show that they are taking your power. Okay? Going off, not taking a moment to respond, that's what's going to show it. That is what's going to show it. It's time for me to make some tea. Enjoy this next video, and I'll be right back. You guys, I oversteeped my tea. I mean, look at it. Do you see how deep that color is? It's actually okay to oversteep blue chamomile tea. That means I've steeped it for 10 minutes or more for this batch. Now, the reason that's okay is because this tea is actually called a tisane, which means it is not made with green or black leaves, and so it's not going to become bitter. Instead, it's going to become even richer in flavor with the wonderful herbs that it's made with. Gorgeous. This week's Sacred Connection. Sacred Connection is what I call the prayer that aligns with the energy for the week. You always want to have that backing, okay? That spiritual backing behind you. So this week's prayer is, Dear God, thank you for the quiet spaces where you... Dear God, thank you for the quiet spaces where I can hear you clearly. Help me pause before I overextend. Let my peace lead the way this week. Amen. Ashe. Isn't that amazing? So, I myself, I cannot do anything without being connected. And so, of course, prayer happens every day, all day, like all the time, you know? And so I put these prayers in here because it's like, well, how do I take a pause before I respond? How do I, but I'm feeling so much emotions. What do I do right now? Go within. Go within. Pray about it. And I've supplied you with a prayer. I've supplied you with the words. Sometimes we get so emotional, we don't even have the words to say it. We don't even know what we want to do, what we want to say. We just you want to lash out immediately. And so when you go within, this is going back to center. That is going back to center. That is taking the pause, going within. That is where all your power lies. Oh my gosh, I cannot stress that enough. I have had to find that power within myself, and I've had to find that within myself. And it has taken it's been a wild ride of me finding that. I have had to experience the death of my former self in order to have a center to return to. In order for me to see my power, in order for me to go, oh, wait, I'm looking for God all out here. I'm looking for, my consciousness all over the place outside. It's been within this whole time. It's been in me, and I didn't recognize it. Recognize the power that is within you. Recognize that the center is within you. Recognize that your source for anything and everything is within you. Okay? It's within you. How do you know? How do things work out for you? How is your life designed? How does God know everything that you need, want, desire? Because God is within you. It's here. Okay? It's here. And the thing that I wanted to mention in this video, it's kind of way off, right? I don't know. It might scare somebody. I don't know, but we'll see. Okay. Working with tea is working with water. And it provides you not only with the sustenance that you need for life, that is water, right? Water changes state, but it cannot die. It doesn't just go away. It evaporates, it changes state and form, but it cannot be killed, just like energy. Water is energy, right? So we're working with water, and then we're working with plants. Specifically, one of the main plants in Calm Balm is holy basil. An amazing plant for calming you down and making sure that you could take a break in between what you're trying to say. Okay, this is why it's important to have your tea and carry it around with you all day, because as soon as you want to say something, hold on. And the plants remind you, you're like, oh, right. Hold on. Right. They're not going to turn me out into somebody that I'm not right now. That's exactly all you got to do. Hold. Let me take a sip. Oh, now I got it. Now I can think clearly, That's... Just clear your mind. Allow the plants to enter your body. Allow the water to refresh you from within. And now you know what you want to say. And sometimes you gotta tell somebody off. But okay, this video is not about telling people off. This video is to teach you about using teas in order to allow yourself to find that center. Okay. As I said, teas are made with water. Water is energy. Water comes in and it refreshes and it cleanses. Okay. Kerry Washington mentioned therapy. Therapy is amazing. Okay. Recommend it. Talk therapy, all the different forms of therapy. Tea Drinking tea, the practice of caring for yourself through tea, is a type of therapy. Okay. And that is what I'm teaching you. Welcome. Welcome to the group. How can I help you? Welcome. But in all seriousness, that energy that comes through, that energy of anger that makes us want to flip things over, it serves a purpose. It is a dark energy. It is a negative energy, right? It serves a purpose. And you have to know how to use it. How do I alchemize this? What do I do from here? Right? That's always going to be the question. How do I alchemize this energy that I'm feeling right now? It's going to be there no matter what. You just have to figure out, where do I put it? What do I do? And what direction do I send it to? Right? And so that's where taking a pause, taking a break for a moment, until you feel serene, until you feel a little bit of serenity, until you're like, okay, wait, I collected myself, now I can respond. That's where that helps. All right. So this negative energy, in the Christian faith, we have the devil, right? And the devil is the, evil red man with horns that wants everything to go badly for you. But something that I have learned is that it's not exactly like that. This devilish energy acts in people, and it is up to you to allow it to foster, breed, develop, and cause reactions in your life. It is up to you to be able to recognize it. It's up to you to be able to recognize it. And that's what I'm teaching you right now. When you take a break, it makes you go, wait, am I going to allow this energy to work in me right now? Huh? Because it feels so good to let something out, right? It feels so good to feel like, okay, I got my lick back. That feels so good. But it's not always right. It's not always what's needed. It can be poisonous to you and your life. And that's just what you have to think about first. So I recognize that this energy, it is the type of energy always wants to be transformed, transmuted, passed on from one thing to the next, right? And so when that type of negative or devilish energy comes in, it wants you. It wants you to let it out too. It wants to keep going. It wants to bounce back and forth. Okay, let's go. We doing it. And you know how contagious that is. You have seen fights, right? Where it's like, okay, here are these people fighting. Okay, wait. Now they friend come. Oh, okay, so this is what we doing. Then okay, so this is what we doing. And then next thing you know, it's a huge circle of people, a huge, like this gigantic. When I have watched this, I literally can see this huge ball of energy that is consumed by everyone who's there. You saw Sinners, right? You saw how everyone got turned into a vampire and they all danced around, right? Similar concept that I'm talking about. Huge ball of energy, and they're all taken over by it. So that's exactly the way that negative energy works. It just wants to pass from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing. And it took a long time for me to realize, where I'm like, oh, dang, like I'm just not one of those people that just pop off like that. And so I also recognized, but wait, I'm just holding it. I'm literally holding it. It's making me sick. And also, I also recognize that I also serve as a buffer. I serve as a buffer. You know, the whole like, I'm rubber, you're glue, everything. No, you're glue, I'm rubber. Anything you say to me bounces off of me and goes back to you. Something like that. That is, what would I be? Something that's porous. I'm more like a sponge. I'm the buffer. Literally, it comes in and I hold it until I'm ready to release it, right? And so before I was thinking that was a negative side of me, but I realize now that it's actually a positive. It's just up to me to figure out how to transmute that energy. And that's also why I can help you with this and why I can say the things that I say, because I have seen it. I've seen it before. And, even with me playing around with how I respond to things, because I for some reason can easily do that. I can easily turn on okay, let me say something now. Now that I know who I am, I have found myself. I've played around with that quite a bit. And now I see, okay, like alchemizing your life is literally figuring out how and when to use this energy that you feel, right? I call myself an energy alchemist for a reason. I call myself an energy alchemist, and I call myself a lemonade oracle. Because of the lemonades that I hope you've tasted. If you haven't tasted it, look, I'm trying to get these lemonades into a local business near you if you are in Florida. And if you have tasted it, please go to my website, or find my listing on Google. Type in High Vibe Herbals on Google, and you'll see that you can leave a review for me. I'll put the link in the show notes as well. Please leave a review for High Vibe Herbals. Even if you're reviewing my videos, I'm okay with that, okay? I'm trying to rack up all the reviews I can so that I can keep this thing going, okay? Woo, okay. So I already took a break to make some tea, okay? Welcome back. I was thinking about this self-care practice before I put it out there. I was like, man, is this enough? Is this good enough? Because it's so short, so small. But I'm like, you know what? It's perfect. It's perfect. It's doable. It's easy to do each day. You take your calm bomb tea because that's what's going to relax you. Okay. Did I drop some? No. You take a moment. You take a second, or as Kerry Washington says, you take a beat. And the thing to journal or to ponder about, the question to journal or ponder about is, where in my life can I pause before I pour? Where can I pause before I pour? Exactly that. Where do I need to stop and take a moment? It is in those quiet moments that you can hear God. Okay? It is in those quiet moments that you can be connected. In those quiet moments that you can be centered. Be in that quiet moment. Why did those words come out as a song? I don't know. I cannot explain that. But they did. But that is when you can be there, okay? I imagine my connection is from my Ori going straight up for you as well, holding it. Am I open? Am I open to receiving? Am I receptive? Can there be resonance? That's what it is. Resonance, responding. How am I responding to the energy? How am I receiving and responding to the energy? Because all energy wants to do is flow. But you can determine exactly how it flows. Okay. Now, after thinking about that, you go for a walk. You go for a walk in silence. Have you ever, if you are somebody who takes a walk, have you taken a walk in silence, taken off the headphones, or had the headphones on so that no one decides to talk to you, and just allowed yourself to have nothing going on in your ears? Have you allowed yourself to just hear your breath, hear your footsteps, hear the birds, hear the sound of the trees? Have you allowed yourself to do that? It's beautiful. You should try it. And so that's what I challenge you to do this week. Take a walk in silence and think about, take a walk in silence and allow your body to show you what it has been trying to say. Former teacher in me wants to say, but what does that even mean? Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? My answer to that question is that would be a personal thing for you. Whatever your body is trying to say is personal. And so you literally ask your body that question. What are you trying to tell me? And when you drink your tea, what is my body trying to tell me? The answer just may come. I want to remind you, as you see in this cup, You are limit. I want to remind you, as you see in this cup, you are limitless. You are unlimited. As the song goes in Wicked, we are all unlimited. So do not limit yourself. Do not say, I can't do this. Do not think that this is something that is not. Do not have the belief, cancel out the belief that this is something that you cannot do for yourself. You can. You can do it for yourself. If you need professional help, go ahead and get it. Okay? If you need to figure out how to do it, look, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and get it. It's coming to my mind right now. I was just about to conclude the video, but I wanted to say, I know that a lot of people use like THC and CBD, because they say, oh, it helps me not pop off on people. Like, when I get that, it puts me in a better mood, so I don't just be out here cussing people out. I'm aware of that. And it's true. Hey, it works because it's plants. Okay. A plant is going to do what a plant does. And that plant really does help you take a moment. That is what's happening. That is what's happening. But it's not the only plant that does it. And you can learn to do it intentionally for yourself. If you are someone who is surviving on THC and CBD, you can take back control of your body. You can use the energy of the plant without ingesting the plant. Okay? You don't need to. It's not, the purpose of using these plants is not to be like, oh, I gotta take it. It's not to be like addicted to them. I hate using the word addicted. It's not to use them every day all the time. Okay? If you do have to use it every day all the time, it should be for a shorter amount of time. All right? You can't overuse plants. The point is that the plants are helping you to teach your body another state of being. There's something right there. These plants are teaching your body another state of being. So when you're under the care of the beautiful and wonderful sensations that are provided by THC and CBD, you are experiencing a state that you can actually tap into without taking CBD and THC. It just takes you practice. So, you can practice that. If you're someone who's taking it all the time, practice it, okay? Practice not taking it. Allow yourself, just do a few minutes of having the sensation like, okay, what would I feel like? Do whatever way you take it, whether it's through a tea or if however you do it. Do that practice without actually having it in your hands. Do it, right? Let's say I'm making a tea, right? I'm going to drink my tea, closing my eyes, and I'm visualizing, and now I'm settling into my body the exact feeling of what it is like, what I feel within my body when I am under the care of that plant, okay? When that plant is taking care of me, I let that feeling wash over me. That's all you got to do, okay? I want you to try that. I hope it helps. If you're seeing this and you know somebody who that might help, go ahead and send this video to them. I'm interested in finding out. And that's something that I've done for myself because there was a time that I was heavily on it all the time. And then I realized, I'm like, wait, I felt the same sensation without it. And I said, wait, how is that possible? Then I realized, oh, these plants are training me. I am using it until I don't need it no more. Okay? Everything has its purpose. Everything has a purpose. Okay? Thank you so much for joining me today and watching this video. Again, my name's Jess with High Vibe Herbals, and I am the founder and creator and the She Does It All of High Vibe Herbals. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm now on Threads at High Vibe Herbals. I'm going to say it more clearly, High Vibe Herbals. And you can order on my website. I do have 10% off using the code YouTube That is YouTube, just the platform that you're watching this on now. And that is the code name. And yeah, I'll see you next week with another video. Like, subscribe, and share. Bye.